Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's Kit Kit. Please don't forget to put like, share, and subscribe. I hope you enjoy, and let's start the show. Okay, now I think we need to go to another city.
Good luck out there. You're gonna need it.
Thank you. So this is the new world. Okay.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Come to interfere in Steel Garrote business again? Certainly not. Besides, I have no more business in Fuel. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy. Good. Perhaps he will listen to you. I am not fashioned for statecraft. Still, I think the governor is too stubborn to be persuaded even by the Emperor's finest. When diplomacy fails, the Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adiran interests. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace?
Someone, come on. My invention
Tiata,
can be...
what's the meaning of this?
How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? Charmed. Forgive me for staring. It's just, we don't see many of your kind anymore.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Ah, of course. The Adiran envoy. Ambassador Hilgard sent a missive telling me to expect you. How delightful. You speak with a measure of authority, but I caution you to remember who's in charge around here.
Now that's what I call a first impression. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
We definitely agree on that.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Chiata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. Are you going to tell her about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident. But look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. Then we'd better do it somewhere else. Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Chiata.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giatta Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Whoa. You're banishing her for that?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giatta is an outcast. Perhaps, but I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
I'll find us another bedroom.
I had planned. I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giatta, some manners, if you please.
Why start now?
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. I want to live in his version of Fior Messiverno, but instead I'm stuck here, in reality.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Messiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone. We'll have fewer resources to work with, but anything's possible. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want, on my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. In a way, I do. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Adiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers. Likewise, they should be educational for us both. Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Sorry. I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... I just realized this is the end. I have to leave Fior Messiverno. Forever.
Some people don't find out who they really are until they leave home.
You'll be alright. My advice, find a good tavern and learn how to prepare squirrel over an open flame.
Maybe if I focus on what I have gained, I can learn to accept everything I've lost. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the Animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. I hope so, because we're running out of options. Monto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, are philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fjord. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name, and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial envoy, research assistant. Who knew?
Careful, or we'll get thrown to the pub.
We're already.
Really? You need some water. Confounded machine.
Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. More than most, but less than I would like. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Ha! A novel idea, that. What I need is a stronger power source. Perhaps, if you can help me find an appropriate battery of essence. I could use a large single block of Atra, but harvesting it is difficult in this environment. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. Indeed, but that well is almost dry. I need more. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgon queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgon in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgon queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
Well, let's go. That Atragon's heart isn't gonna yank itself out.
Ado, welcome to my finest.
Okay, let's go to point A.
Oh, it's you.
Envoy.
There is a lot of mushroom here. Okay, let's go through that way. Run, run, run.
You've returned. A curious thing for Kith to want. Even one as special as you. It belonged to one who tended this grove for longer than I have been here. Sickness changed them, as it has recently changed so many creatures in these woods. It no longer recognized us as their kin. We had to stop them before their madness damaged the land. But it is over now. All that remains is their heart. Our kind has no need for such remembrances. It would cause us no pain to part with it. Take it, and go in peace.
I can't believe you pulled that off. Now, let's get out of here before she notices my wood pistol grip.
For an Adiran, you're very resourceful, and a more than capable companion for poor Giada. With any luck, I can tell you a great deal. Now that I've got the heart, my thirsty invention will drink deeply of its essence. All that's left to do is calibrate it. First things first, let's have a look at your soul. I'm going to ask some questions to induce a metaphysical quiver. No, not to worry, just testing your reflexes. Let's start with an easy one. You wake up on a beach, looking up into the sun. Your hands are covered in blood. All right. Let's try some word association. Tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Pendulum. Chrysalis.
Hands reach through a mirror. They clasp me by the throat.
Hello? You still with me? No, we should stop. This has gone far enough. Let's go over your results. Your soul has a fascinating internal structure. Perfectly balanced. An artist couldn't have made it better. Your godlike nature is a marvel to behold. Usually all it takes is a mirror. Not my area of expertise, I'm afraid. What I see is something entangled about your soul. An outside presence that both is and isn't a part of you. It's old, dark, and rather tricky to pin down. Very interesting. Nothing harmful, at least not yet. Fascinating. Thank you for getting my machine calibrated again. But you came for Giata's theory of the Dream Scourge. Between the two of us, she's on to something. Our farms are in great peril. The essence has been drained from the land, diverted, like the flow of a river. Doubtful, but you're asking the right questions. Someone or something is responsible. Regardless, essence doesn't just disappear. It must be going somewhere. All I can tell you is keep looking. You'll find what you're after. As much as I hate giving people bad news, that's all I have. Please give Giata my fondest regards.
Keep looking, huh? I'm getting a bad feeling about what we'll find.
I'll be honest. He lost me when he started talking
Okay,
about
now
souls. What did I miss?
2.8 again.
Those are no ordinary farmhands.
A godlike in emerald. Well, well, maybe our luck's improving. I'd offer to shake your hand, but I've been elbow deep in Beatrice all day. Beatrice, you know, the one with her viscera on display? As you can see, this is my reanimated corpse farm.
Oh, and what do you use for fertilizer? Other corpses?
I'm trying to demonstrate the value of undead labor. But of course, nothing is ever that simple. I've always wanted a wealthy patron.
If this is your idea of business, we might have to revisit our contract.
Reanimated corpses are the future of manual labor. Cost-effective, low maintenance, and very friendly. Now, Beatrice, she's being a real problem, if you can believe it. Would you be a dear and reach into her guts? Feel around for anything that doesn't belong. Aha! So the blight got into my revenant and interfered with her raising. That confirms one of my theories. Not only is the Dream Scourge affecting our farms, it's disrupting animancy, unraveling our work. Sounds like I have more research ahead of me, but at least now I have a sense of direction. Thank you for getting your hands dirty on my behalf, godlike. You're a natural. Giata Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor. I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town? He's a bigger fool than I thought. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo. Silvo is one of my Revenants. My oldest, my favorite, and the pride of my flock. Someone needs to put the poor fellow out to pasture. And I just don't have the heart to do it myself.
Well, it's already dead. That's the hard part done right there.
When a Revenant goes bad, there's only one option. Final death. And poor Silvo's time has gone. Thank you for understanding. You can find Silvo in the barn. He's blocked the door somehow, but the window should be open. Just be gentle with him. He's a good boy.
So, we're killing a Revenant then? She just couldn't come out and say that?
And this is why I don't take pets. Right behind you.
Do you think we can shoot him from here? 1 minute. Business is business. I'm sorry.
Emerald Stair has seen better days. With any luck, the turning of the seasons will favor us. Poor Silvo. He was a bright young Revenant, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the dream scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen. It's possible, but we don't share research if we can avoid it. That's one of the reasons I moved out here. The other reason being my corpses. They don't enjoy living behind walls, if you can call it living. Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say. Well, I'm happy to give her some good news for a change. You and Giat are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock.
Oh, and thank you for the nightmare fuel. I really have been sleeping entirely too well lately.
Okay, now
People find this place unsettling.
go to the last point.
The great mystery is, our god...
Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. Fluent speech and upright posture show marks of sophistication in the endangered godlike. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
It's just that we've never met a godlike before. This is a big day for us.
Giada must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giada needs to finish her research. Deal?
Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go round the wheel, you might not get so lucky.
Who wouldn't? My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? No need to take offense. We merely seek to learn.
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone? Very optimistic, aren't we? I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, godlike. You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giada wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
The Dream Scourge is proof that an unprecedented metaphysical disaster can take place at any time.
Oh, that's a load off my mind. Sure beats not constantly worrying about the future.
How's that good news?
Giada will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a Pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
Ah, of course. The idea is a bit high-minded. Adra acts like a pathway for souls as they rejoin the wheel.
And the Dream Scourge is a plague of the soul, is it not?
So, just as Adra channels essence, So too may it provide a key to discovering more about the Dream Scourge. An entity, you say? If this entity is your patron, that's all perfectly natural. But if it's something else, with enough essence and a capable animancer, perhaps you could trace this tether back to its source.
Right, and with a little fresh soccer, you can follow an ogre back to its lair. Still wouldn't recommend it.
Just be careful that your tether doesn't snap back and kill you in the process.
Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell.
Hurry, before they change their minds.
Into exile.
Ugh, I might have
Wonder if
dozed
she
off
needs
there
new
for a bit. Were any of those
Or maybe
words
a
the ones we
test
needed?
subject?
And I really loved you. Deep down. But did you ever talk
I hope you aren't afraid of lightning. Where there's animancy, there's bound to be lightning. I hope you had an enlightening visit at the corpse farm. Elia is one of my favorite neighbors, second only to Quilici. When her best farmhand got stuck up a tree, I got him down in one piece. Well, several pieces. I've always looked up to her. Good timing. I'm about ready to get started. So, did you learn anything of particular interest? Makes sense. You won't find a better source of energy. Look at us. Barely even started, and already we're making progress. Monto's machine is working, Elia will keep an eye on her revenants, and Yvette and Remy are providing us an alibi. I needed those animancers for more than their expertise. Monto's invention nullifies spiritual interference. Having it up and running means we won't get any false signals. Whenever I tap into an Adra pillar, Elia's farmhands tend to get a little bitey. Thanks to you, they won't be a problem. And then there's Yvette and Remy, the governor's eyes and ears. In exchange for privacy, I gave them a test subject. I'd call that a good day's work. Animancy takes a lot of preparation. You might only have one chance to run through an experiment. Now we just need the right equipment for the job. When my parents died, they left me their life's work. An invention like no other. The phantasmal focus. Well, that's where I need your help. The problem is it's in the basement. I haven't gone down there since the accident. Since they died.
I can't blame you for avoiding a place like that.
I would get it myself, but I'm not ready to face what's down there. The door to the basement is just outside, around the corner. Of course you'll need a key. Please excuse the mess.
If that's where her parents died, I'm glad we can spare her from having to go back. Something's not right here. Stay ready.
Haven from the Blight. Who grows here?
Okay, let's see.
feel pretty certain that
What's
those
that?
people aren't supposed to be plants.
What a horrific...
Guards. We can leave now, right?
Poor Giada. To think she's been living with this right under her nose.
Okay, let's leave.
I don't. Anyone know what happened back there?
I think those were Giada's parents, or whatever's left of them.
So they're dead?
Or something like.
You're back. You found it. You actually found my inheritance. Did you see my mother and father? Are they still there? I'm sorry. For what it's worth, I don't think you were in any danger. All that's really down there is an unhappy memory. One that keeps on growing. My mother had an idea about how to use the essence of the living lands, and it destroyed her. My father, our family.
People are too quick to risk everything for an ideal. I'm sorry it didn't work out for your family.
So I swore an oath. No one could enter the lab until I understood what happened. I'm on the right track to figuring it out, which is almost as good. Enough about me. Let's worry about you for a change. With the phantasmal focus, I can finally tap directly into the essence of the living lands. I can also use it to smack around anyone who gets in our way. Don't worry. It's more durable than it looks. Kind of like me. The only thing we're missing now is an Adra pillar. And I know the perfect one. Naku Tedek, the old godless ruin west of Fjord. There should be some equipment waiting for us. That rugged thing? It's as dry as a bone. Hardly any essence left. Even if it wasn't, I'm not exactly welcome in the workshop these days. We used it to study the Adra pillar. Then some priests moved in and took offense at our work. I hope they haven't tampered with the equipment, or this will be a very short experiment. Before we head out, let's make the most of our time in Fjord. No telling how long we'll be gone. And I hate to be a problem, but I do my best work in small groups. Chalk it up to performance anxiety.
Sounds good. I need to do some hunting anyway.
Once we're all together, we should trade ghost stories. Best way to get acquainted. In the meantime, let's be off. Maybe they've felt a deeper connection to the spirit world. My friend Yatzli is a scholar of the godless. She could tell us more. There should be some equipment by the Adra. Well, here we are on the precipice of discovery. Armed and ready for mischief.
I'm 2 out of 3 anyway.
Before we get started, indulge me. What are you excited to learn about? We'll get to that and more, I promise. Now, I'm going to tap into the pillar's dormant energy and give it a good shake. In layman's terms, I'm chumming the water and daring the Dream Scourge to show its ugly face. This is no time for hesitation. All right. Drawing on the energy of the phantasmal focus, I'll start with a low-frequency ethereal vibration. I've got nothing. You?
Like I could go for some pie.
Shit. All right, adjusting the frequency. The focus is warming up. I hope that's a good sign. Let me know if you feel something. Who knows how your godlike nature will react to this. Brace yourself. We're going to pin this bastard down.
Are you sure about this?
Don't worry, I'm a professional. Now, here goes nothing.
Souls in a circle, a whirlpool. We twine, we twine.
Hey, I think I got something. The focus twitched, like a fishing rod. Is that a door? Not the result I was looking for, but a result nonetheless. Hold on to that feeling. We might need it again. Right before the door opened, I detected something in the Adra. It was right. The Dream Scourge has a point of origin. We can study the affliction from here, but I don't know that we can stop it. My thoughts exactly. If we want to stop the Dream Scourge, we still need to learn more about the source of the affliction. I hate to say it, but we'll get better results at the base of the pillar, where the energies are more potent. Naturally. After you.
We gotta see what's down there now.